What's up, y'all? This is your boy Eddie Jackson. Welcome back to the Drop That Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Laidback TV, okay? Over 10,000 channels, movies on demand, every sports channel, all HBOs, all the languages that you can imagine. Check them out on laidbacktv.com. It's on your screen so you can see them. You can download it on your iPhones, Androids, and your Fire Sticks in case you want to watch television at your home, okay? And shout them out on their Instagram, official_laidbacktv. We got hip-hop talk, so let's get it. Whoa! All right, guys. First things first, shout out to Ebro, Laurel Styles, Peter Rosenberg, and the whole team over there at Ebro in the Morning at Hot 97. They've been let go. I guess they're being replaced by people who are known and unknown also. Weird. It's very weird, but you know what can we expect? You know what I'm saying? We got radio that's really not. Everybody's getting out of radio. You know, it's been happening for years, and you know they're doing the podcast, but podcasts are somewhere getting into streaming. I mean, they just bought like 15 fucking iHeartMedia fucking podcasters type shit. You know, 15 out of them. Breakfast Club is leading the way. Rory and Maul, the whole works. You know what I mean? They're going to be on Netflix come 2026. So salute to them. You know what I mean? Congrats. Not too shocked, but let's see where else we going. Shout out to Nas and DJ Premier finally giving us that album we've been waiting for light years. All right. Recap on the 7 Legends Has It. I think it's called that. You know what I mean? The Legends Have It, 7 albums. I don't even know what's the right wording for it, but it was 7 albums from 7 legends. Okay, it started off with Slick Rick's album Victory, fucking the return after God knows how many years, 30 or something like that. A Slick Rick album. Can you believe that shit? So shout out to Slick Rick. It followed with Raekwon's the Emperor's New Clothes album. It was a little odd of a album title. I was a little overwhelmed with that title. I mean, shit. I mean, if he thought it was probably one of his best shit, could have named it Only Built for Cuban Links Part 3, but he probably wants to keep that to himself. So, you know, shout out Raekwon on that album. Next one to follow was Ghostface Killah's Supreme Clientele 2. Supreme Clientele 2, 25 years since his predecessor. Since his original. Sorry. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty dope album. I like Raekwon's actually a lot more, but really solidified Ghostface album. If you like Ghostface, this is a Ghostface album, definitely for sure. Followed that was Mobb Deep's album, The Return of Mobb Deep Infinite. That's one of my favorite albums, actually, out of the whole 7. Mobb Deep's Infinite, definitely killer tracks. They went to the estate of Prodigy, got some unreleased verses, and got to work on the album. You know what I mean? You know, it was produced by Havoc and Alchemist, so definitely superb producers for the album. Next one was Big L. Big L, the return himself, Big L, may he rest in peace, Harlem's Finest, The Return of the King. Favorite track so far out of the whole 7 albums is definitely Big L and Nas's, what is it called? You Ain't Got a Chance. Yeah, I love that record. That's a fucking full-length, superb New York record. You know what I'm saying? I definitely think so. Was following that was De La Soul's Cabin in the Sky. I hear a lot of great things. I've already finished half of the album. That's definitely a dope ass album, you know, for De La Soul. You know, they're doing their thing, you know, coming back like that. And then following the year, Nas and DJ Premier. I mean, you got records like New York State of Mind and Nas Is Like. And they gave you a full fucking album, 15 tracks. You know what I'm saying? Out of all 7 albums, I would say my top 3 in this order I would say it's Mobb Deep number 1. Number 2 would be I would say Raekwon. And number 3 would definitely be Nas and DJ Premier's Light Years. Now, my assessment as far as the album goes, I feel like now we know exactly why. It's like certain album cuts and tracks that Nas and produced by DJ Premier. I really believe I don't think this era really appreciates a full-length production from Premier with Nas on the mic. I don't think they appreciate that. You know, the beats are probably a little bit overwhelming for them, that they just focus on the lyrics, you know, and Nas was getting his shit off. Let's not even, you know, I'm not even gonna hold you. Nas was getting his shit off, talking that shit the way Nas is. But when you compare what we're getting from Nas as far as a whole DJ Premier album, because that's what he's been doing, you know, as such as Light Years, following 6 straight albums with producer Hit Boy. You know what I mean? He gave us 3 King's Disease, 2 trilogies. King's Disease trilogy and a Magic trilogy. You know what I'm saying? I think we should have got Light Years first. I mean, I understand on the promotion tip for Mass Appeal. Shout out to Mass Appeal. They did a phenomenal job bringing these legends back. But I feel like we should have got a Light Years premiere album first, and then the Hit Boy albums. But I understand on the timeline. You know what I'm saying? You know, gotta have that. And Nas said it on an interview that he wanted to do a premiere album and a Dre album. I personally feel... no, I take that back. I hope there's a Nas album coming with nothing but Dre production. That'd be fucking dope. That'd be really, really dope. You know, that would be the Light Years that we've been waiting for. You know, hopefully this ain't the last of the Mass Appeal. I think this was a very successful Mass Appeal releases. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 legends, 7 albums in 7 months. I really believe that this was a perfect setup. This was a definite perfect setup. I feel they should continue this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, why not get the legendary females, you know, an opportunity? You know what I'm saying? You never know. You never know. I mean, there's nothing that says that you gotta keep it a certain way, but this will be dope. This will be dope. You know, Mass Appeal should continue doing anything. I think as far as releases go, promotions from an actual label, there is no other label that's holding it down for the last part of 2025 than Mass Appeal. Mass Appeal stole the fucking show as far as labels go. I don't give a fuck if you're talking Atlantic, Republic, Def Jam, fucking Rock Nation. I don't give a shit what you're talking. Mass Appeal stole the fucking show. You need to show respect. And even though those are all, I think they're all, I'm not sure about De La Soul, but most of them are New York MCs. Speaking of New York MCs, the whole talk about, did 50 Cent kill New York hip hop? Some could make an argument that he did. You know what I'm saying? He came out the woodworks with Wanksta off the 8 Mile soundtrack in 02. Then gave us a fucking killer 03 with his debut album, Get Rich or Die Trying, and the group G Unit's album, Beg for Mercy, which I bought both copies, physical copies to be exact. You could make an argument. I mean, his high-profile beef, and that's real beef. I'm talking how we could define beef. Not how these new niggas out now define that. Real beef, where they want you to sleep. You know what I'm saying? The beef with Ja Rule. I mean, maybe. You can make an argument that it was probably that. You know, that's 50 Cent versus Ja Rule. Both of them are from Queens. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but look at all the New York rappers of that time that was actually, relevant, doing something. You know what I'm saying? You got Jay-Z. In '03, he came out with the Black Album. You know what I'm saying? What is it? DMX in '03, he came out with Grand Champ. Busta Rhymes, it was a little bit before that time. It was, he gave us Genesis and It Ain't Safe No More. Papoose was coming. Fat Joe was doing his thing. What was it? Who else? Fabulous was doing his fucking thing. He was killing it on the radio waves. Jadakiss, Nas, we spoke on him. I mean, when you look at Piggy Bank, right? Piggy Bank was dissing Fat Joe, was dissing Nas, was dissing Jadakiss, was dissing Shine. It was dissing mad people. I mean, some people could make an argument, when he came out with the track How to Rob, but he was really attacking everybody. I don't know if I really would say that, because a lot of these artists was still relevant. DMX continued to '06. You know what I mean? Should he have taken a break? I don't think so. Because when he came out in '03 with Grand Champ, that was his 5th #1 album. DMX could have kept going, but I think something with Def Jam really stopped that shit. Busta Rhymes, '02 to '06 in albums. Can't blame 50 for that, because Busta left J Records and went to Aftermath, which was 50's label with, that's Dr. Dre's label, but 50 Cent was a shady Aftermath artist. So, yeah, I can't blame 50 for that. Ja Rule's still making albums. You know what I'm saying? '03, he gave us a bullshit album called Blood in My Eye, but he came out with RULE in '04. Pretty good album. I bought the album, so can't blame that. Jay-Z decided to come back after fucking, a year of retirement, due to part 2 of Best of Both Worlds with R. Kelly. Didn't stop his hustle, so you can't blame 50. Fat Joe, after '02, '04, he gave us Lean Back with Terror Squad. Doesn't seem like New York hip hop was dying. That was a fucking killer record in '04. '05, he gave us All or Nothing with a 50 Cent disc called My Fofo. So, I don't know. I think it doesn't seem like that either. Papoose was killing the underground waves. Didn't kill that. Jadakiss came out with an album called Kiss of Death in '04. Doesn't sound like he was done. And Nas, in '04, he came out with Street's Disciple. I'm going to go with no. And if they think 50 Cent is the reason, they're full of shit. Fabulous came out in '04 with Real Talk. I bought that album. That was a killer album. Something was dying down, and it seemed like, when New York hip-hop took a fucking break, the South took over. You know what I'm saying? The T.I.s, the Gucci Mans, the Young Jeezys, the Ludacris. You know what I mean? Even Texas with Scarface, Chameleonaire, Paul Wall. You can't blame 50 Cent for something that New York was sleeping on. New York was sleeping, and they could have kept it going. What, because of the collaborations? The fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? He signed G-Unit to solo deals. Tony Ayo put out a solo project. Lloyd Banks put out a solo project. He even signed a South artist named Young Buck, from UTP and Cash Money. I don't see anything wrong with that. Signed The Game. That's a West Coast artist. Collaborated with Aftermath and G-Unit. Yeah, I'm going to go with negative. 50 Cent did not kill New York hip-hop. And speaking of Game has stated he's the best MC out of Compton. I'm going to go on a limb and say he's the best MC. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I know we all know what he's doing when he's saying Compton directly. How many MCs do you think when you hear Compton? You know what I'm saying? Like, what comes to your mind? Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Kendrick Lamar, we get it. But I don't count Dre because Dre is a high-profile, top-tier producer. You know what I mean? He needed people to help him with his lyrics. There's nothing wrong with that. Puffy did it. It's just Dre made, a hell of a lot more classics, technically, album-related. He had help with Cube. He had help from Snoop. He had help from 50 and Eminem. He had help, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. But, I know what he's going. It looks like it's a direct shot to Kendrick Lamar. And if that is, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. You know what I'm saying? I think you can make an argument. People could say that Game is a better rapper and Kendrick's a better artist. But it depends on how you're looking at it, because when you look at the Control verse, the Big Sean song called Control that featured Kendrick Lamar and Jay Electronica, did you forget what Kendrick was doing? He called out every motherfucker. Everybody in his era. In his era. Not the Game's. His era. Whether if it was Drake, J. Cole, Pusha T, Big Sean, everybody. Wiz Khalifa, everybody. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to battling, he battles. But I think a little bit, don't get me wrong, I love Game. You know what I mean? Game, like top tier classics. My top 3 classics of all time from him, as far as albums go: Documentary, the Red Album, and if I had to say one more, I give it a tie. For number 3, I give it a tie between Documentary 2 and Jesus Peace. But those are my favorite. Documentary to me was the most perfect album ever for a West Coast artist ever created. To me, Documentary beats Death Certificate by Ice Cube and Chronic by Dr. Dre. Okay, the Chronic, Doggy Style, best West Coast album to me was Game's Documentary. You know what I'm saying? You could say it was like flooded with a little bit of here with 50 Cent, but it had 50. It had, what was it? It had 50, it had Eminem, had Busta, had Tony Yayo, had motherfucker Marsha Ambrosio. I hope I'm saying her name right. Let me see. From production, you hear Just Blaze, a New York producer named Just Blaze. Okay? Think about that. Timbaland on the production, Eminem on the production, Dr. Dre on the production, Scott Storch on the production. Yo, come on now. Think about it. Perfect album. But, I'm getting tired of this kind of Game who actually is just attacking people that don't need to be attacked. Like, he wants to battle everybody, and it ain't working. You know what I'm saying? He put out a fucking 12, 14, 15-minute song of dissing Eminem. Eminem didn't even give him the time of day because he don't know where the fuck that came from. Now he's trying to do that with Kendrick? Well, I wouldn't be surprised if the album he's creating, Documentary Part 3, has a Kendrick Lamar diss, which is probably going to get swept under the rug because nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's the only time that really that's Game really making noise, is really doing that shit. But I don't know. I guess we see how far he goes with that. But I say he's definitely top 3 to me. My top 3 MCs of all time out of Compton is Game, Ice Cube, Kendrick Lamar. You know what I'm saying? He said himself, Ice Cube can't out rap him. And it's cool. Maybe he can't. But Game and Kendrick, I mean, they got plenty of tracks together. I don't even know where that energy was back then. I guess it was because of the whole year Kendrick Lamar had battling Drake. But we'll see. I'm going to look forward to the Game's album, Documentary 3. I love 2. I love 1 to the core. When Part 1 came out, I was there in the morning in Orlando fucking buying the physical copy in Target. Okay? The physical copy, and I still got it. All right? Best album, from a West Coast artist, I would say. I'll make an argument that, to me, Documentary beats all of the classics from Kendrick. And I got number Kendrick classics, which is number 1, To Pimp a Butterfly. Number 2, I would say it's Good Kid, Mad City. Sorry, guys, when it comes down to Damn, but I got number 3, GNX. That's just my personal reference, okay? But we'll see. We'll see how this goes going into 2026. This is the Drop That Podcast. It's your boy Eddie Jacks. Make sure y'all hit that sub button, and like and comment. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think about my assessment as far as the Seven Legend Has It Mass Appeal releases. Who really did 50 Cent really kill New York hip hop? And is the game number one on your list of Compton MCs? All right, y'all be cool. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays to y'all. Peace.